I'm Gracie Schneider, and I did research on developmental effects on children with split households. I used non-academic tidbits and scholarly journals for my research. So for my non-academic tidbits, I usually used memes and TikToks. The TikToks are not on here, but I used them. I will explain them. So the first one is my parents arguing about getting a divorce, and then says 9-year-old me making Playboy Cardi type beats in my room, which leads me to believe that children were exposed to explicit content at a young age because their parents are too busy figuring out what their situation is and isn't giving the child enough attention. I also concluded that children are being dragged into unhealthy mental states, like the second meme on this page. He's hovering over a black hole, and he looks terrified. And then in some of the TikToks I used, it seemed like the children felt like they were having a double life, and they felt like they needed to be split into two to compensate for the double life that they were living, like double houses, double beds, double parents, of course. But everything was split into two. And then children with divorced parents are constantly struggling with everyday situations because they go from house to house. Like they have to cancel plans because they have to go to one parent or the other, or they get in fights with their parents and the parent says that they're acting like the other parent, which is a very big insult on the child, and they always feel left out of something and missing one of the parents that they aren't with. For my scholarly journals, I found 5 that I used, and the major themes that I found throughout were children had depressed thoughts about their future and what they were going through right now. Actually, most referrals to mental health clinics were children with family problems. These children are prone to a lot of risk factors, and some of them include harmful sexual habits, so they start early, or they do it with people that they should not be doing, or they aren't taught really about sex ed quite yet. The children have low-income futures, so they have low-paying jobs and tend to struggle with money. They have academic problems, which include dropout rates, lower GPA. They have a harder time learning speech. They have motor difficulties and social development delays. They have adjustment difficulties as well, which is basically going to school or going from house to house, meeting new people. I also found that alcohol use disorder is commonly found in, or more prone in, people with divorced parents, especially if their parents also have alcohol use disorder. These children also have behavioral problems and emotional problems. The scholarly journals didn't really specify what problems they had, but it was stated that they had those. And even when the child is older, the child still feels distress when trying to include parents equally. So, like getting married or having children or holidays, that can be really stressful on them. Split custody, while they look back, split custody made children feel tormented and uneasy. They didn't have very good amounts of happy thoughts. Most of them were being stressed and tormented. And a big thing that I found very interesting was high conflict parents. So parents who always fight and don't have a good relationship led to a low quality relationship with just the father. So the mother would be okay, but the father would be affected a lot. So what I found most from my research was that divorce is not good on parents or children. It can lead to a lot of risk factors that are very harmful for their development, especially if they're at a younger age, and the effects of divorce from their parents never goes away, so it's part of them for the rest of their life.